Hello, sir. We have ended the new one and clicked on the old link. Yeah. Yes. Okay. We are there, sir. Sir, sir. Click the good one. Mm. The new one. Hello, good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Sorry, we are starting behind the schedule. Please, if you can't hear me, just give me a thumbs up. All right, thank you very much. Thanks for giving me a thumbs up that you can hear me. So my name is Chinzaram Irebu. I'm the HSC trainer and business manager with RCL Safety Center. So now that we are all here, we want to commence with the workshop proper. So we all know that health and safety is a very important part in every workplace. And when it comes to health and safety management, we have to ensure that we manage safety risk as low as reasonably possible, and also try to ensure that our safety measures we have put in place ensures that we're able to reduce incident, accident, or fatality in the workplace. So introducing an app which we call Safety Mint. It's a safety management solution software which has been deployed in different organizations to manage safety risk as low as reasonably practicable, and also for organizations to see the need in order to improve workers' efficiency and workers' effectiveness also at the same time. So I hope if you can see my screen, you can also give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, just to go into proper the youth safety means. So just a word of introduction. I want to, if you can see my screen, please give me a thumbs up so that I can know that yes, we're all seeing my screen, we're all following through. So let me just log out from here so you guys can see how you log into the safety means. So when you log into safety meet for the first time, you're going to see you're going to put into the taskbar web browser safetymeet.com/login. So I'm going to log in here with my own account. Just hold on while I log into my account. So once you're able to log into SafetyMate, it gives you the first point of what you see. It gives you a summary or the reminder to do list, which we'll talk about that later. So when we first look at the screen, we see a dashboard. The dashboard gives you a summary of all the information respecting to health and safety management for that particular period in time. Here we can see the month, we can see the number of incident reports, we can see the number of safe days, we can see audits, we can also see the permit to work, amend permit to work, the number of manpower, then the lost time incident frequency rate. Then if you come that, you can see a diagram indicating the leading indicators and also the lagging indicators to show how where the number of fatalities, illness, or issues that were reported on a daily basis or on a weekly basis or monthly basis, to know where improvement needs to be done in terms of health and safety management. Then here you have the action summary. Then once you also scroll down, gives you the safety champions of the month, as you can see here. Then it can also, you also see here the safety or incident triangle, which is known as the safety pyramid, highlighting the number of fatalities, number of lost time incidents, number of near misses, and the number of observations. So on this app, you can able to have a whole summary of all what needs to be done in terms of health and safety management. Now, we have, if you look on your left, we have the observation, we have the incident, we have the permits, we have the audits. So just a quick run through of what all the modules in this instance can able to do. Here we click on a new and we click on observation. When you look at observation here, you will get to see that you are asked to report an incident. Now, definitely we know that when you are at different locations or different sites, once there's an observation that is a potential hazard or anything that can tend to be a risk, you need to report it. So once you click on new, just hold on. So once you click on new, you're able to see a drop-down information highlighting the reports you need to, an observation that you need to give a report on. So for example, once you select an observation type with, let's say for example, an unsafe condition. And what is the unsafe condition we're talking about? The unsafe, you select the type of unsafe condition. If it is hazardous, defective equipment, extremely high, extremely noise. Let's take, for example, we select housekeeping, and you now have to describe the kind of observation that was made respecting to housekeeping. For example, you say oil spill in the warehouse. So once you have that, you can now indicate which location did you observe the oil spill. So if for example, these are all, for example, if I take Enugu as our location, then you can see there, then we'll now talk about the time, the location, or the time, or the date precisely. If, for example, we take 2nd of March, we take 8 o'clock, I will not decide to take 8:36 a.m. That was on the 2nd of March. Then we cannot assess what the risk does the oil spill present to workers in the warehouse. So is it minor? Is it serious? Is it fatal? So if we take it, it's going to be a serious, the risk is serious. It's also possible for us to attach a picture of the oil spill that we're making and reporting an observation on. Trying to see if I can get a picture here, but if you have a picture to indicate, you can click on this icon, attach a file to show you a picture of the observation that you are reporting on. Then once you have clicked on that, then you can now ask, is an action required on what is reported on? If yes, you click on yes. If there's no, if no, you click on no. But in this instance, since you have an action reported on and you click on yes, an action be required to indicate what type of action is required to correct that hazard that has been observed. So once you click on added action, you now have to indicate what is the corrective measures required that needs to be taken on that oil spill. So you can take a quick mop-up, of oil spill, provision of drip pan, and adequate training of workers on housekeeping. So once you're able to do this, then you can now click on what type of control is this. Is it an elimination or substitution? Definitely we know that it's an administrative control. Then whose responsibility is it to ensure that this action is being carried out? We'll now select this as the responsible person. Then we cannot select the exact date in which we want to enforce this action or this observation and corrective measure that needs to be taken on. Since we chose March 2nd, that was when the observation was reported. So we can quickly indicate here what March 9 as when the observation and action needs to be carried out on. Then if we have a picture we want to attach to show evidence of the corrective measure that has been carried out, then we can attach a picture to it. Once you have attached a picture, then we can click on submit. So once you click on submit, then you can come over here and click. You can now see that we have a summary of the action that is required. Mop-up of oil spill, provision of drip pan, and adequate training of workers on housekeeping. We can see the control, which is administrative, the responsible person who will be in charge, and the due date for such action that needs to be carried out on the observation that was reported. Once we have done that, we can now click on submit. Once we've clicked on submit, you will get to see here that on the board, on the surface, on the dashboard, we can see here that we have created made an observation report. Oil spill in the warehouse. And where is the location? In Enugu. The date at which such observation was made was on March 2nd. So here can indicate the new tab that needs to be created. So you can see that here it is closed in the case that an action has been carried out on it. So that gives you a summary of how to report an observation that is either a hazard in the workplace or at different locations. Please, if you can hear me very well also, I would like you to give me a thumbs up so I can know that you are all hearing what I'm saying. Okay, thank you very much. Ashola Oyewole, I can see your hand. Thank you very much. Now, since that is about observation, let's also talk about an incident. Definitely, there might likely be an incident in the workplace, fatality, ill health, injuries. Once such occurs, how can we report such in real time so that the HOC officer or the supervisor who is at the office or the necessary emergency response that need to pick up immediately? How do we now notify such an incident has occurred? We can come here and click on new and click on incidents. When we click on incident, we'll also look at the left-hand corner, the right-hand corner, pardon me. It says report an incident. Now, when you report an incident, you now select what type of incident. Is it near miss? Is it a lost time incident? Is it first aid? Is it a fire hazard or a non-reportable incident? You just have to indicate, or it's an environmental type of incident what has to do with harmful discharge to the air, harmful discharge to land, or harmful discharge to water. If take for example, if first aid case or a fire hazard, let's take for example a fire hazard. You describe the incident in few words. Type of fire hazard, release or release of toxic, release of flammable liquid in or leakage of flammable liquid in the tank farm. Leakage of flammable liquid in the tank farm. Then we can now select the location where such is happening. Let's say we take somewhere in Ikorodu. Then we know the danger flammable liquid poses. If for example, we're talking about petrol, or we're talking about kerosene or diesel, depending on the level of the flash point of the liquid. So once you're able to get reports the incident, leakage of flammable liquid in the tank farm, then we talk about the location, then we talk about the shift at which such incident occurred. Take for example, it happened in the second shift. Take for example, it happened in the second shift. Then when did it happen? What dates did such happen? We can take maybe say on the 9th. Then we can select the precise date. Let's say 11:44. We can decide to take any time. Then we'll say this. Then because of this is for future, we are now reporting an incident that happened in the past. We cannot click take today. We can take for like yesterday. So let's talk about take this. So once we click on that, we can now attach a picture to show evidence of the incident that took place. Since we're talking about flammable liquid, leakage of flammable liquid in the tank farm, and we know that the type of hazard or threat it takes in terms of fire hazard. So we can now attach a picture to indicate the incident that has occurred. So once we have attached a picture, then we can now submit. Once we submit it, you will get to find out that we'll be able to report such an incident. You can see here from here, it says at Ikorodu, leakage of flammable liquid in the tank farm. Now, we can attach a rating to it. So I remember when we're talking about rating, we're talking about our risk assessment matrix. We can attach, we know that when it comes to tank fire hazard, it leads to fatality, destruction of properties, and also the environment. So we can put it as though it's not something that occurs, it's not a frequent occurring incident, but once it occurs, the effect is devastating. So we can take the major, we can take a major hazard, and we can take a frequent or repetitive. So once we have said, this is just for a demo's sake, once we have done that, the question is an investigation required? Yes, of course, an investigation is required once you have such incident occurring. So you click submit. Once you click on submit, you will get to find out that the rating has changed. Formerly here was blue, but now you can see that now it has showed you red to indicate the type of rating that has occurred. That it requires enough control measures need to be put in place to prevent such an incident from reoccurring again. So what do we now do? You can see that using the app, we can be able to form an investigation team to ensure that such a thing doesn't occur. So what we click, you now click here on open. Once you click on open, this gives you so this gives you a chain of events that has to be a procedure that needs to be followed on how to investigate such an incident on how to prevent such a thing from reoccurring again. So what we will now do, so if you look at the incident reports here, the incident reports reporting from shows the type of incident we're reporting on, which is a fire hazard. We have also indicated the location where such an incident occurred, which is at Ikorodu. Then the type of shift where such an incident occurred. Then if there's a machine number that's attached, you can attach a machine. If it has to do with a machine that led to such a fire accident or hazard where it is located. Then you can now see that the description of the incident, leakage of flammable liquid in the tank farm. Now, what is the extent of damage? You can indicate the extent of damage, which is the loss of life and destruction of the facility. Then is there immediate action required? Yes. You can say a prompt action is required that needs to be ensured that such an incident doesn't reoccur again, or a action required to minimize the risk of exposure and damage of such incident. Now, if there's a picture that needs to be attached to show evidence of the incident that occurred, you can attach a picture here, which shows attach a picture. Here you can, once you click on it, a picture can be attached to show the incident that you are reporting. Then, were there victims involved? If there were victims involved, you can report yes, there were victims involved. But if there are no victims, you can say no. Now, you can select the type of victim in this instance. So, I hope you can see my screen. Please, if you can still see my screen, just let me know.
It's just the video we can see. Not the screen.
Hold on. Okay, just hold on. Okay, how about now?
Yes, you can see it. I can see
so
it.
if you can see my screen, thank you very much. So you can now see that you can report, you can add a victim, the victims that were affected or the casualties that were affected by such incident that took place in the tank farm, which is the fire accident. So if, for example, I put the name of the victim as, okay, select the victim type, if it's an employee or a contract worker. So if it's an employee, you can indicate the name of the victim. Let's say the name of the victim is Ade Loye or Dayo or Ayo Tunde. Then you can indicate the employee's ID number. Then if it's a male or a female, you can indicate if it's a male or female. Then you can also indicate the age range the employer or the employee falls under. If it is between 27 to 40, I can put it at that, or 40 or 41. Then, with the incident that occurred, the victim must have had series of injuries, or for you to highlight the parts of the body that the injury took place, you can do that. Maybe they had broken bones or some part of the body were injured. You can highlight that here by clicking on this. If it is the arm, if it is the arm, then if it is the spinal cord, just indicate as what you can see from the victim who has been hospitalized, then probably who has involved in the incident. Then once you click on done, you can see that you have been able to highlight those parts. Then the details of the injury, serious bleeding and broken bones. So depending on what part of the body that the body experienced such injury. Now, was the victim taken to the hospital? Yes. Now, when did the victim return to work before such an incident occur? You can indicate the next day or the same day or 2 days later. Then detail of treatment given. You can say hospital treatment. Now, once you have indicated that, then you can add this to, that will form part of your information that you are gathering as part of your incident report. So once you've done that, you can now look over here that you have created a report of the victim that was affected by such an incident. So you can add more victims if you like, if you have as many victims as possible. Then once you click on save, this gives you, it takes you to the investigation team, or the number of investigation teams that you need to form. So investigation team leads, you can indicate there as this, then investigation team members. So just to, if I want to, just to add more team members, I will come over here just a minute. Since we are reporting at Ikorodu, so I can decide to add more team members to form part of my investigation team. So just hold on, I can change. So over here, I can decide to add this person here as part of my location. Let me add more location. Ikorodu. I can add this. Then I can add these people who can form part of my investigation team. Part of my investigation team. So so I can also add somebody else again. I can add Esther. I can also add Esther too. That also form part of my investigation team. Let me add her here. That's at Ikorodu. So this once I do that, I'll click on updates. So once you have that, you now have part of your investigation team. So I can now go back to my incident reports. So I'm going to go back to my incident report, which I have already started, and now click on the investigation team members. So I can now come here and add, like I said earlier on, I can now add, this is my investigation team lead. I can now add investigation team member. I can add Esther here. Then the target date of completion, I can choose 14th. Then I can click on save. Once I've clicked on save, then I can decide to do a root cause analysis of the what caused the accident or the fire hazard. So we can see that maybe we can choose inadequate tools and equipment. Then we can also select inadequate work standards, just for you to have an idea of what the app can do. Then if it has to do with man, then we can talk about inadequate mental or psychological capacity or lack of skill or inadequate physical or psychological capacity. This also can be part of what can be a root cause analysis that can lead to that accident. Then for the materials, you can talk about maybe low quality materials or expired or outdated raw materials. Then in terms of the environment, we can talk about maybe if there was any due to environment, we can talk about flooding, since we are very familiar with what happens in our own terrain here in Nigeria. So if there are systems that can be a root cause analysis, also you can indicate that in here for the system. Then once you click on save, it takes you to the recommended action that is required for you to corrective actions and preventive actions required. So the description of the action required is ensure adequate provision of standard or adequate materials and tools for combating fire. Just as this is just a sample of what we just do. Then ensure. Then the type of control, we can see that it has to do with engineering and administrative control. You can also select the two. Then you can either choose or administrative control. Then the responsibility has to be with the super admin. Then the target date for such we can take on the 16th. Then if there are other information you want to add, you can also add that in terms of the corrective action and preventive action required. Once you click on save, then a new a review and closure will be required. Just a minute. So you'll be added to approval. So if you click on approve here, it shows you, it takes you to the next page, which says the review and closure. So this is what you describe under your action required, the type of control, the responsibility, and the target date. So the status is open. So for now, the investigation is still ongoing. But if it is in progress, you can indicate the level of investigation, if it is open, if it is in progress, if it has been completed, or if it has been closed. Whatever form of investigation that, so if it has been closed, you have to attach picture to show evidence that it has been closed. Then remark adequately. You can add a remark to it. Once you add a remark to it, then you click on save. So with this, you can able to form your investigation team. And once you have done that, you can see here that you have added a target date and the remark. So this gives you, you can see here, lock, the shows it has been locked, the review and closure. So once you have this, this gives you how you form your incident report on an investigation or a hazard or an incident that has occurred. Now, just in addition to that, we can also do a permit to work, we raise a permit to work system using the app, which is very, very key for oil and gas industries, construction, wherever you have a serious activity that has to do with you have to control the risk, and also the control measure that needs to be put in place to manage such risk. So you can click over here for a permit. Here in the permit, you can see we have different types of permit systems that can be created using this app. Though don't bear this in mind that this is just a sample of some of the permits that already been pre-installed on the app. You can also have a permit specifically designed for what you want in your peculiar to your organization, depending on the level of job and the risk attached to it, either work at height, electricity, confined space, machinery, or general work permit, or high voltage or low voltage permit. So here we have permit for pressure testing, we have permit for mobile crane inspection, we have permit for chemical work permit, you have a permit for hot work, confined space, cold work, high voltage, low voltage permit, general permit, or service shaft permit. So just for emphasis sake, you as whatever type of permit you like to create, you can click on settings, then click on permit template. This permit template gives you a summary of how you can generate your own permit. If you can see over here, we have the different types of permits here that have been created so far, and you can decide to add more depending on what. For example, if you look at the hydro pressure testing permit, once you click on it, you get to find out you already have some form, some information that has like a form of a checklist, permit details in form of a checklist that has been created. So you have the permit details. Then once you have that, you now click on the precaution checklist that is required. You can see that this is a checklist of what needs to be filled on. You can also add more information and design the templates on the way you feel that's peculiar to your workplace. Then once you have that, then you can also have a night work checklist, a closure checklist, and a transfer checklist. Let's do a typical one. Let's create a new permit. Take, for example, we want to do a general work permit, general permit. In the general permit, you can see here that it brings out, first you need to create a worker profile. So if I already have a worker profile already, I can click on any of these. This is Ronke Adisa, this is Esther James. These are already workers that are already added on the system. But if you want to add a new worker, you can add a picture of the worker. Then you can add his name. Let's say Victor James. Then I can add his age, maybe let's say 28 years of age. We can add his phone number, 08074558186. I can put a gender, is a male. Then does he require the valid training certificate? If it does, definitely, then we click on yes. Then once you click on yes, you can add the profile. Automatically, once you look at the screen, you can see that Victor has already been added to the system. If you watch here, Victor James. So if you have other workers you need to add also, you can add more workers profile here. If you want to edit some information about Victor James, you can edit some, you can click on edit to edit or add some more information that is required. Then when we click on next, so I don't know, please, if you are still following, please give me a thumbs up so I can know that you are following. A thumbs up would be appreciated. Okay, thank you, Oye Wole. Thanks for the thumbs up. So once you have added a worker, you cannot add the site name. This is how I can take, you can add a site name already that has already been added on the system. I can take Apapa Port. Then I can now take the dates in which I want to do which I'm raising the permit. Then I can select on the 11th, then take now. So now note the permits to work is being raised for 8 hours. So you can see that it's from 11:05 a.m. to 7:05 p.m. So it's for an 8 hours period. The description of work at the Apapa Port, maintenance of gas pipeline or maintenance of cheesy farm. So if there's a Lotto permit that needs to permit number that needs to be included, you can include that there. If there's a permit to work number, add that. Confined space checklist number, then impairment permit number, if you have to include that. Then if it's a work at height permit, you do that. If it's an excavation permit, if it is chemical mixing permit, if it's cold work permit. So any of these, you can indicate the number attached to that. So if, for example, I'm going to do a lottery permit number, I just put A12345 6. Then I'm going to do, then the type of work I'm going to do, I'm going to do a scheduled maintenance. A scheduled maintenance. Then the hazard of the work there, since we know there is a tank farm, we can know that it has to do with a lot of injury, bones, broken bones, so inhalation of toxic waste, toxic gases. So let's say I've taken head injury, skin injury, head injury, electric shock. So you can select the type of hazard, eye injury, body injury, flammable and combustible. Then we'll talk about lungs injury due to the inhalation of toxic gases. Then the hazard control, what control measures are you going to put in place before and during when the work is to be carried out? You have your safety shoe, your earmuff, your safety goggles. You have to barricade the place. Then your safety helmet. The necessary safety control measures or safety precautions that need to be put in. You can also prefigure it or design it and put it in the template, and it can be used. So face shield if required. Now, once you are done with that, the awareness or special instruction about the job can be stated here. Then if all the information being presented here in the permit is duly understood and has been filled, you can click here on it has been understood, fully understood that this is my responsibility to ensure safe work practice. Then when you click on next, you can now see a checklist also that has a night work checklist. Is there if the work is going to be done in the evening or at night? So is there is sufficient lighting provided in the work area for optimum visibility? Yes. Then there is emergency power back available? Yes. Emergency medical response team? Yes. So once you've done that, you can now click on submit. Once you click on submit, you will get to see that a permit to work form, or so a general permit to work form is being generated with all the information we have, the name of the worker, the location and duration of the work, the description of the work, the work details, and all the checklists that has to be checked on. We click on it. Then the night work checklist is there. So you can see here on the timeline who the person who initiated the work permit. So once every information is correct and has been duly seen, you can click on submit or you can click on edit. Once you've clicked on submit, it takes you to the next stage, because as you submit the permit work, there are stages at which needs to be monitored. So once you click on it here, you will see that a permit work has been raised, and you can look on the screen here, it shows pending, meaning that the permit work has to be approved and it needs to be checked. So once you click, once it has an email has been generated and sent to the HSE supervisor or the authorizer who will give the authorization of the permit, you can see that here is either the issuing authorizer either rejects the permit or approves the permit. If he approves the permit, then he gives the reason for approval. All control measures adequate. Control measures observed and implemented. So once he has done that, mentioned. So once it has been done, then you click on submit. So the question asks, do you really want to approve the permit? So you can either cancel the permit or you can approve. Once it has been approved, then you can now see here that a summary of this chain of stages of which the permit has gone through will be displayed. So here you can now see that it's no longer showing pending. It is now showing approved. Once you click on approved, what comes up now, you see the summary of the general permit that has been generated, or what has been filled earlier on. Then you can now see here that the issuing authorizer, this timeline at which the permit work was done, when it was initiated, when it was submitted, and when it was approved. Now, there are stages. If you want to extend the permit, you can click on extend. If you want to revoke the permit due to a new risk or a new hazard that has developed, or certain control measures are not adequately taking control, you can revoke it, or you can decide to close the permit, or you can decide to transfer. Whatever be the case, you'll be able to monitor it from the information you have here. Now, this permit, you can either send it as a PDF and send it to you can export as a PDF, which if you click on it here, loading, it shows you a PDF format here has been generated, or you can send it as an email to the name of the recipient, Easy. The email of the recipient, Easy at safetycenter.ng. Then your comments, permits approved. So once you've done that, you can send that permit as an email, as a soft copy, or you can have it in a PDF format, just the way I'm showing you right now. You can also scan the document just to have it in your phone and scan it, and you can see it can be generated like this. The description, the checklist, you can see the night work checklist, then the stages, then you can see the authorizer and information that needs to be given. So you can see the timeline at which the stages at which the permit was given before an approval was given. So that's pretty much on permits to work. If we look at, I don't know if, I hope if you are following, please just give me a thumbs up if I can know you are following. So, and I hope you can still see my screen. So if you are following, just give me a thumbs up so I can know that you are following. Okay, thank you, Oyewole. So just for the final part, you can use the Safety Mint app to do an audit. Auditing is also a major part of the safety management system, in which an organization is able to check and ascertain if it is measuring up with its health and safety standards as recommended. So you can create a new audit here. Once you click on an audit, you can now select the type of audit. You can put the name of the audit you want to, the audit name. We already have some audits already factored or created on the system already. So we can create, let's say, if we want to do an audit on COVID-19 or PPE compliance or construction site inspection or commentary driving technique, or as 1801 internal audit, you can do that. It's just you can build your own, have your own template of the audit you want to go and you want to use in your organization or in inspecting in other organizations. So if, for example, we take a commentary driving technique, you can take a site at which you want to do the audit in Lagos. Then you can now decide to select the auditors. I can take Emmanuel. Then the frequency of the audit, if it's going to be done daily, monthly, weekly, quarterly, half a year, you can do that. So then you can select, is it an external audit or internal audit or surprise audit or an inspection or a checklist? You can also indicate that also. Then you can use, let's take an internal audit. Then you can now start. When do you want to do the audit? From when to when? What dates? I can take the 10th, which I want to schedule an audit. Then when is it going to end? You can also take the date you want to end the audit, if it's going to be longer than that. So on the same day, then I can click on, once I've done that, I can click on schedule. So once I click on schedule, you will get to see here on the screen that it generates an audit that will be used to perform such in such organization. So you can see here schedule, the description of the audits, commentary driving technique assessment. Then you can now see the name of the auditor attached to the audits, Emmanuel Ede, the area where the audit is taken. Then you can also ask scores to assess the level of performance in which the organization is meeting up to its health and safety management system. Then if there are findings that you discover during the auditing, you can indicate it. If there are necessary actions that need to be carried out to improve the health and safety management of such system organization, you can indicate that. Then the frequency of the audits can be also indicated there. Then the schedule, when it starts, and status. Status indicates spending, so the audit has not yet started. So once I click on start, once I click on this, the audit will commence. So just for you to have an idea of where the audits can be done or generated, we have what is known as the audit template. The audit template gives you a background or a background of where the audit is. So you can see the different types of audit templates that can be generated. We can do yours can be whatever form of auditing, either COVID-19, housekeeping, work safety, machinery, what type of whatever form of auditing you want to do, it can be built into the system, and you can do that and also add forms to it. So this is just a summary of what safety means, safety management solution can do for every organization that sign up for a 14-day free trial. And it's at no cost to you for the 14-day free trial. I hope you can all hear me, though we're rounding up because we're already out of time. So you can sign up for a 14-day free trial using the app. And you can, once you do that, I'm going to send you a link for you to sign up for the 14-day free trial and try it yourself. You can, one of the important thing about this is that you can add as many users as you want for you to now carry out a test run of how the app is able to perform the necessary incidents, reporting, observation, permit to work, or audit that is required. So I don't know if anyone has any question. You are free to ask question or make a comment. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
All right, Kelvin, I can see your hand. Go ahead. Good afternoon.
I wanted to ask, I didn't really start from the beginning of this session, but I want to ask, the raising of the permits, is it going to be done by the HSE, the safety person in charge, or whoever is about to begin a task?
Sorry, I'm not hearing you very clearly.
I said for the raising of the permits, I
Yes.
joined when you were during the permit session.
Yes.
Is it the safety officer who starts the process, or other personnel who wants to, that's personnel carrying out the task? Are they the ones to start the process of raising the permit before sending to the HSE to authorize?
Yes, it is is that all?
Yeah.
Yes, it is the person who wants to raise the permit that wants to carry out the work that will raise the permit. Once he has raised the permit, and he fills the form, it will now be transmitted to the HSE personnel in the office. Already, you can see from that audit I performed earlier on. Hold on, let me show you. I hope you can still see my screen.
Yes.
I want to. Okay, you can see on my screen here.
Yes.
The timeline. Though this is just me performing it myself.
Yeah.
But from the timeline which we have seen here, the person who initiated the permits, is the
Yeah.
person who wants to do the work himself.
Okay.
He will initiate the permit, and once he submits it, it's now for the HSC officer or the supervisor to now give an approval for the permit.
So that will imply every personnel in our various organizations is expected to have the app.
Yeah, yes, it's whoever who wants to perform the work, we have to have an access to the app and able to raise a permit and send it to the HSC personnel or supervisor for an approval.
Okay, thank you very much.
Is that clear?
Yeah, it is.
I remember this, the app, it's not necessary that it has to be, you can use your phone, by the way, to initiate or to raise a permit. So I can be in the office here in Lagos, someone in Port Harcourt who is in the field, or someone in Delta, in Esparvos who is in the field, can raise a permit and send to me here in Lagos for an approval. Are we together, Kelvin?
Yeah, we are.
All right. Thank you. Any other question, please? I'm here. Because of our time, I want us to see if we can take some questions. Or
I have a question.
Okay. Is that Chidima talking?
No, is Grace.
Okay, Grace. Okay, sorry, Grace. Go ahead.
So after filling the permit form online, the person that is to approve it, won't he come and check the sites to know the hazard associated with the job that I want to do or the risks before approving it?
Thank you very much. Now, remember I talked about when you are building the permits, you can build a permit template to suit the type of your job at the different site or what you do as an organization. You have to capture those necessary points in your checklists that you have raised in your permits that is peculiar to what you have on the site. Although already the person who is raising the permit is on the site reporting what he sees or what needs to be done on the site before a final approval is given. So he cannot do the job and without having knowledge or having the information that is being fed on the permits on the form before giving the approval. There's also a place that you can attach a picture on the form, on the permit work, to show evidence that yes, this is what you want to do on the permit, the kind of work you want to do at the site, which requires a permit work that needs to be done.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, any other question? Okay, because of our time, you can, if you have any other question, we have, you can send your question to sales@safetycenter.ng, or you can send it to rclsafetycenter.ng, or you can send it to me, Chizzy@safetycenter.ng, or you can also send it to mint@safetycenter.ng. These are available emails that you can send your requests and information and needs. By the way, if you are we are requiring everyone to join in and log in to do a 14-day trial using the app. So you can tell your HSC manager, your supervisor, or whoever that's not in this workshop today to look into it and give it a trial. And if we need to do another demo with your team in the office, we're also happy to do so. You can get in touch with us through the contacts that we have available. So if there's no other question, I want to really thank you all for joining in the workshop. We look forward to seeing you guys again. We always want to make sure that this...
I have a question, please.
Sorry?
I have a question, please.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Kanu.
I have an observation. My question is actually an observation.
Okay.
This is quite new and this is quite innovative. And as an inspector of factories, I've, I've already started seeing benefits. I mean, because when we visit factories and organizations, you see lots of hazards.
Yeah.
And again, when we do another visit, you're supposed to visit a factory like 2, 3 times in a year, depending on the nature of hazards in that premises or environment.
Yeah.
Now, please, we need to escalate this. I mean, industries, they need this software, this device.
Yes.
It will make the job, I mean, the operations very easy. So what I would suggest is we need to have this kind of program again. Then we can notify a lot of industries and informal sector, because this will help enhance their occupational safety and health management system. So we need to look at it and also come up with a wider viewership. That's what I'm looking at.
Thank you, Mr. Kanu. I appreciate your insight and your recommendation. It's the information you just gave to us, or your recommendation is really, really helpful because mostly where you have repeated hazards, people are always at risk. People are exposed to dangerous materials or fuel materials or toxic substances. There's always need for continuous observation, monitoring, and reporting of what is in the factory or in the site. So I really appreciate you for making this recommendation. And in addition to what you said, this workshop is done every month. We held one last month, February 9th. So we're also going to hold another workshop next month on the 9th of April. So we always make sure that we sensitize people from the 2nd of every new month, and for them to be aware of the workshop and for them to participate on the 9th of that same month. So this is not going to be a one-time workshop. It's going to be something we'll be doing regularly every month. And we enjoy all HSE managers, facility managers, supervisors, head of department, MD, whoever that is in charge of safety, and also the director of companies and owners of employers of labor, to also key into what we are offering here. And I definitely will help to manage the risk as low as reasonably practicable, and also to reduce incident, accident, or fatality at the workplace. Thank you, Mr. Kanu. Any other addition before we call it a day?
A quick one, yeah. In trying to request for the free trial,
yes,
there's an option for your role and your requirement. What are we to put in there? Your role, is it supposed to be your designation as the HSE officer or the activities your company is carrying out?
For the position, for the 14-day free trial, I believe it's Kelvin, I believe we've spoken before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that has to do with your position in where you work currently. Okay. Right. So, and the email you're going to use is your office email, so that it can be certified that yes, you work in that organization and you are working there and you are who you say you are in such an organization.
But what about your requirements is part of the options to be filled when requesting for the free trial? What do you mean by your requirements?
Yeah, you can put in there as a HSE of supervisor or personnel. You just have to put in your information there regarding to safety in your job designation.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. If there's no other question or comment, I would like you to call this workshop a close. Thank you very much. Thank everyone for participating. I hope to see you next month. And I hope by then, most of everyone here, most of us would have try their hands on the 14-day free trial and see how it works. Then also recommend to your head of department and also to your managers or supervisors. Then we'll also see how we can make it easy for us to set up a model or a template that will suit your workplace to capture whatever hazard or risk and how to report such incident, or prepare a checklist on how to capture the risk or hazard in your workplace and make sure it is effectively reported and enough control measure is put in place to manage such things. So I thank everyone again, and I see you by next month. Bye for now. Hmm? Yes. Thank you for your. Are you serious? Ah. Yeah.
Yeah. Why this thing? I don't like the. Okay, don't worry. I'll discuss what I'll do.
Okay.
There's some points I actually wanted to say there, but it would have been so sensitive because I didn't know who.
Who is okay?
Yeah, so
I'm listening to you, sir. Go ahead.
no, don't worry. I'll discuss with Joe. Okay.